Peace. This is Star with the Star Booms. What's good, y'all? This is Star with the Star Booms. I literally just left the store and I was having a whole conversation with someone about how my baby basically was like playing at the park and how I was trying to like hurry up before she gets done playing. And it ended up getting on the subject of curse and cycle breakers and how we begin the loop again by a continuation that never ends. This space of I literally was gonna say untamed focus, and it's crazy because the card that came out was untamed vision. I like how Spirit speaks to me, and I asked Spirit, what is it that we consciously regulate while being in dysregulation, and how can we get beyond these spaces? Because sometimes we don't know the toxic patterns that we are perpetuating, because things can be perceived different ways depending on what level you're at in a circumstance. So first of all, I'd like to thank Archangel Michael for my throat chakra just now closed up completely just now. I would like to thank Archangel Michael for covering, cloaking, and shielding and protecting me and anyone who is listening to these messages at this time. May this message fall on your ears with discernment, that you align yourself to the truth that is within you. Go back to yourself within meditation to confirm and affirm within yourself whatever consumption you are to be in alignment with. Thank you to our angels, our guardians, to our benevolent ancestors who are in light, working and guiding us in our highest vibrational frequency as we align to the Most High. We ask that you ensure that any and all messages are coming through you directly, purified and true. Abracadabra, make it so. I say Asheo. So I literally was having a conversation and I was speaking to the effects of how when you get in a certain conversation with certain people, they'll talk to you about the generations, y'all. Like this generation this and this generation that. And this is like a picture. When I was growing up, we had a picture in the house, and it was basically this grandfather's hand. I believe he was like sitting in a chair, and it was like a grandson or a grandchild, and how he was basically either handing something over to the grandchild, or it was like an exchange of hands. And basically, my rate of communication in the conversation was, a lot of the times we always want to place either the blame or the focus on the disintegration of the connection or the tethered threads that align us to, our trajectory and propelling forward as a community to one generation or the other. But if we recognize that there is a pillar and there's these staircases that we're all walking upon, may it be reached, from different aspects and different levels, but one is always the foundation of another one, then we would recognize the growth and perception that we, I believe, breed and also lead in based off of how we're willing to listen, be present, and receive. I've always went to the elders. I've always been around older people my whole life, but I've always went to the elders for clarity and to be able to perceive like deeper understandings in any and everything that I've been in. And I recognize that a lot of the times in breaking cycles, you step on toes, y'all. And it's not really a way to be able to really look at it. But lately, because of the time that we are in, there are, I believe, deeper depths that we could go to, because there's a greater amount of truth that is being disseminated into the collective, whether you're willing to accept it, stomach it, or acknowledge it. Personally, one of the things that I've been processing as far as cycle breaking is respecting my boundaries and not coming off of them. Other people may believe that your way of handling the circumstance isn't the right way based off of how they perceive it, but that's their perception. It doesn't mean that you're to alter where you're at with it. And the things that I'm seeing I want to make them make sense. I just want to read them. So one of them says violated. It says, when you're bound, that's crazy. That's crazy because I just said boundaries. Thank you, Spirit. When your boundaries were shattered, a part of you went into hiding. It's time to call back that part. Come on, Spirit, I hear it. Untamed vision. What if your wildest vision is your truest compass and everything else is just noise? That's deep. Unshakable. The path may be brutal and full of obstacles, but your purpose is stronger. Keep going, and it will be all worth it in the end. Ooh. It says, you're not unhealed for feeling angry. What if your rage is here to restore your boundaries and not destroy your peace? Listen, God. Bad blood. You may think you're over it, but the resentment is still writing scripts in your subconscious. And that's that thin line that I was speaking about, blameless. When you always point the finger, you give away the wine. Blame is a leash that lies, that ties your power to someone else's behavior. Cut it, right? Double trauma. You're both hurting, but hurt people don't always hurt each don't let me read it again. I didn't read it right. You're both hurting, but hurt people don't always heal each other. Sometimes they just pass the wound back and forth. Listen. Financial control. Gain financial independence and assert your right to make your own financial decisions. Constant lying. Demand honesty and be truthful yourself. Trust is built on the foundation of truth. Disrespect. Stand up for yourself and demand respect. You deserve to be treated with dignity. So one of the things that I was processing was this rate of passing the buck, right? And that's what the lady was basically saying to me. She kind of like put me in this category, which I'm not. She thought I was from a generation that I'm not actually, from, because of the rate of maturity I believe she felt that I had. However, I feel like we all get a bad rep. I feel like, other generations get a bad rep, so does mine, and so on and so forth, because there's this of misunderstanding by judgment. And a lot of the times we misunderstand in judgment because we only could process and perceive things from our perspective. That's what we're open up to. Not everybody's willing to basically find and receive messages or aid or guidance from wherever they could receive it from. A lot of the times when you're extremely empathic, you're extremely sensitive, the true mediums, like you really, 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 really sensitive. Being sensitive doesn't always mean that you're in a constant rate of combat. It's just basically you have the ability to tap into things that other people might not necessarily perceive. The need to be heard and listened to a lot of the times has been such a loud rate, especially in confirmation, excuse me, y'all, in my framework, and the reason for it is because when you recognize that there are so many things that are trying to 808, thank you, Spirit, so many things that are trying to pour into you to either, take your will or have you basically in this rate of not consciously processing or perceiving yourself at the right way so you can show up. A lot of the times it'd be difficult to basically get beyond the space of processing what it is that you're truly in process of, how it is that you're truly feeling based off of what is being poured into you, what's being integrated within you. I just felt like a ting in my stomach. Whether or not you're at this rate of being able to take all the things that are coming to you to basically give way or to create egress for you, is up to you. So when it comes to rates of cycle breaking, one, I believe strongly the financial part is such a huge thing, with a lot of us being aware that our gifts and our energy is basically supposed to make room for us. A lot of us are basically stepping out on faith. Thank you for the confirmation with the sirens. Stepping out on faith and going into the places that we know that we're being pulled into, and having to take these leaps of faith, but recognizing that in our process of making these movements towards the things that we now desire, we get to also honor the places that we've healed in order to be at the rate that we're at. And I believe the best way to start breaking the cycles, or recognize what cycle that you are innately breaking at the moment, is one, to recognize where you were and how you are and how you're being. I hope this makes sense. Where you were at when you recognized that there was something that was basically falling down, how you are in the rebuild of it, and what you recognize you're doing to support you moving forward.